Hi everyone, welcome to my Persian Corner. My name is Panta, and in today's lesson we're going to take a look at how to talk about your daily routine in Persian. So we're going to go through some vocabulary, do a quick review of grammar, and then I'll share what my daily routine is like. As always, the PDFs are available on my website, so if you want to pause the video real quick, you can head over there and download those. And follow along. That's what I'm going to be following along with today. And if not, you can just stick around until the end of this video and then go download them. So let's get started. All right, my friends, we're going to start off with a little bit of vocabulary. And our first word is pashodan. Pashodan, to get up. Misvak zadan. Misvak zadan, to brush your teeth. Dush gereftan. Dush gereftan, to take a shower. Raftan. Raftan, to go. So with this, we could say sar kar raftan, to go to work. Madrese raftan, to go to school. Danishgah raftan, to go to university. Khune raftan, to go home. Khordan, to eat. Khordan. So we could say sobune khordan, to eat breakfast. Nahar khordan, to eat lunch. Sham khordan, to eat dinner. Doros kardan. Doros kardan, to make. Tamasha kardan. Tamasha kardan, to watch. And finally, khabidan. Khabidan, to sleep. So now let's do a quick review of some grammar. We're going to be looking at the present tense in this lesson since we're just talking about our daily routines. One of the good things about Persian is that there are a lot of compound verbs. And by compound verbs, I just mean that the verbs have two parts. The first part, which sort of gives like the main action, and then the second part, which is the base verb, and that's the part that you conjugate. We saw this a few lessons back with our verb zendegi kardan, to live. So we have two parts here. We have zendegi, which on its own means life, and then kardan, which on its own means like to do. So when you put them together, zendegi kardan, it becomes to live. Kardan is one of our most common base verbs. So as long as you know this verb and how to conjugate it, then you can easily just learn a whole bunch of other verbs as well, because the conjugations will all be the same. Now, to conjugate in the present tense, remember that we need three parts. We need our prefix mi, and then we need the root of the verb, which I've given to you in the PDFs, and then finally we need the ending according to the person. So in this lesson, because we're talking about our own daily routine, we're just going to use the ending for I, which is am. So let's take a look at our verbs now. Our first verb was shodan. Shodan on its own means to become, and we have this here in this lesson with pashodan, which means to get up. The root of shodan is shav. But in spoken Persian, this is a case where the written and spoken forms are different. In spoken Persian, we just say sha. So to say this for I, we say man mishavam. That's the very formal way to say it. So in spoken Persian, we just say man misham. For example, pa misham, I get up. Our next verb is zadan. On its own, it means to hit, but here we have it with misvak, which means toothbrush. So misvak zadan means to brush your teeth. Our root of zadan is zan. So we say mizanam or misvak mizanam. I brush my teeth. Next is gereftan. On its own, gereftan means to get. And here we're using it with dush gereftan, to take a shower. Our root is gir. So we say man dush migiram. I take a shower. Next is khordan. خوردن has a few different meanings depending on the context. Here, we're using it to mean to eat. Our root of خوردن is خور, so we say میخورم, I eat. Or for example, شام میخورم, I eat dinner. رفتن, to go. The root of رفتن is رف, and this is another case where the spoken and written forms are different. So in spoken Persian, we just say ra. So we can say, for example, سر کار میرم. It looks like میروم, but in spoken Persian, we just say میرم. Next up is کردن, one of our most common verbs. On its own, it means to do, and our root is کن. So we say میکنم. We have this in two cases here. درست میکنم, I make. So for example, we say شام درست میکنم, I make dinner. Or تماشا میکنم, I watch. For example, تلویزیون تماشا میکنم. Next is خوابیدن, to sleep. And our root is خواب. This word follows a pattern where we have the khe, vav, alif, and we saw this also a few lessons back with our word khahar, sister. And words like this, oftentimes the vav is silent. This is a little bit different from written and spoken Persian forms. In written Persian, it's always going to have the vav, but you're never going to say it in speaking. So we can say, for example, man mikhabam, I sleep. To make any of these verbs negative, we simply change the prefix mi to nemi. So for example, I could say مسواک میزنم, I brush my teeth, or مسواک نمیزنم, I don't brush my teeth. Or تلویزیون تماشا نمیکنم, I don't watch TV. نهار نمیخورم, I don't eat lunch. So now I'll share a little snippet of what my day looks like. This is کارهای روزمره, your daily routine. صبحا ساعت 6:30 پا میشم. اول مسواک میزنم و صبحونه میخورم. بعد دوش میگیرم. ساعت 8:45 میرم سر کار. ساعت 1 نهار میخورم. ساعت 5:30 میرم خونه و شام درست میکنم. شام میخورم و تلویزیون تماشا میکنم. ساعت 11 میخوابم. And that's just a general overview of what my day looks like. I hope this lesson was useful for you. Let me know if you have any questions. Maybe tell me what your daily routine looks like. Thanks so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lessons. Khodafez.